I guess I'm standing between you guys and a beer, so I'm gonna jump right into it. So a lot of people think we're, a logistics company, but e-commerce enabler is really we cover everything, the spectrum from marketing all the way down to delivery, and I will go into more detail what and how we do that. Sorry. So before we kind of jump into that, I want to explain kind of why we built aCommerce. So these were the three companies we built previous to aCommerce, really in the media space, in the marketing space, and in the e-commerce space. And we saw that there was big problems in these markets, so we really ended up building aCommerce, which covers basically everything from logistics up to marketing and advertising. Also, I'm one of the founders and chairman of Ardent Capital, so we've also invested into 17 different companies in the e-commerce space. And that's when we start to see some of the really big challenges in logistics, hence building out aCommerce. Really kind of what is aCommerce? Here's our business model, e-commerce enabler. Our mission really just focusing, in 2016, end-to-end and a la carte. But really our long-term vision is we want to be the operating system for commerce. Specifically, as you can see, not just e, but full commerce, meaning omni-channel as well. Here is an example of really how we look at the world and what we're trying to achieve. A lot of people are looking at the whole customer journey. We're looking at the product journey and basically capturing the product data all the way to the end consumer. So whether we're integrating into warehouses or we're integrating into POS systems in store, our goal is to connect all the product data with the customer. And as you can see, what brands really want and companies really want is to know, how is my product being sold, what is being sold, where, when, and who. And obviously, there's a lot more data and more details in that, but this just gives you kind of an overview of how we look at the world and what we're trying to achieve. Just a quick snapshot of our business. We've started in 2013. Over 1,100 employees, clients, 140 plus. We work with brands, manufacturers, retailers, marketplaces, 9 fulfillment or warehouses, offices. Raised about $40 million in funding, and currently positioned for end-to-end e-commerce in the region. We're number 1. And we cover really kind of the various different categories, as you can see on the left-hand side. But honestly, it's fashion, beauty, and electronics. That's the key drivers in the market. Just an idea of our client list. And just to give you an overview, kind of the range and the scope of from consumer goods, fashion, electronics, to retailers and marketplaces. Our clients across ASEAN. Offices and warehouses across ASEAN as well. So really Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, and we're expanding into Vietnam and Malaysia by the end of this year. But as you can see, Indonesia, there's going to be a lot more dots because we need a lot more hubs for delivery and last mile in Indonesia. And the challenge is that the current the logistics providers are not really scaling efficiently and quickly enough. So us, like most I think other e-commerce companies, are having to fill in that gap. So just to give you an overview of what we do, each one of these boxes is a fee that we basically charge. So some companies will do revenue share and etc. Well, we tend to just these are solutions that we offer in the market, from demand generation to demand fulfillment. So a lot of our clients today are using pieces of the value chain, meaning that it's sold in a la carte services. But we also have clients what we call end-to-end as well, where we do everything from, again, marketing to delivery. This is the platform that we're building. And really, for us, we look at, when you look at from the left-hand side here, retail APIs. So it's not just marketplaces that you sell on. It's your brand site, social media, chat apps. So we see that it's going to be a multi-channel retail world, and we drive retail APIs. As you can see, for warehouse and store APIs, where's the inventory sitting? Where is the product data? It's in warehouses or in stores. And for us, we don't necessarily have to outsource to us, but rather we actually integrate the technology within our clients' warehouse as well. And last is the logistics APIs. And you can see that, yes, delivery is one form of last mile, but there's also basically pick up and collect. So we integrate with BTS stations, post offices, and et cetera. And I'll go into detail with that. Lockers as well, and in-store. So as you can see, from a platform perspective, we're looking at everything from demand generation on the left to demand fulfillment to the on the right. So again, so this is the multi-channel, the types of retail channels that we basically integrate with and create. Some of them are fairly unique, right? And then, once you drive the sales, then it's about fulfilling those sales orders, whether it's warehousing, fulfillment, delivery, and handling returns. This is just, I think a lot of you guys have seen this already. This is from Bain. You can download it online, but this is how fragmented the market is with marketplaces. It's not just marketplaces, it's actually e-commerce platforms. So we basically make it simple for brands to integrate and work with all these marketplaces across the region. AMP basically is our order and inventory management system. So how do you orchestrate the orders once a sale starts coming in from the channel, from the retailers? Are we going to fulfill it from inside a warehouse or from a store? So this is really our system. So when you look at the different types of fulfillment centers, on the left-hand side, DKSH, they're an investor, 20% stake in our business. As you can see, they're a 100,000 square meter warehouse. We're actually integrated in that corner there, allowing them to do B2C from their B2B warehouse. Then we have a multi-brand fulfillment center on the right-hand side that you see, where it's a multi-brand, different brands in one warehouse, or in-store fulfillment from MAP, and for Matahari Mall, basically made to order, meaning we build the fulfillment center and warehouse from the ground up. Our staff is in there, our technology, and for us, it's what we call managed services. Smart Ship in terms of last mile. So yes, we have some of our own fleet, but our goal is not to build out, the DHL or the Carry Express. Really, for us, it's about the aggregation and which 3PL to use, price, the volume, the weight. So we optimize which delivery partner is best to utilize to deliver across the region. And also for Smart Ship, we're also looking at we've integrated with Thai Post. So you buy your product on a marketplace, and then you want to pick it up at a Thai Post office, which is thousands across Thailand. Also in the BTS stations, which is the public transportation, you can also buy your product. In Lazada, for example, pick it up at a pick-up and collect station, or even handle returns from there. Lockers as well, or pick up or return in store. So, what's interesting about this is that we're starting to see a lot of chat, meaning that as consumers now prefer to actually chat before they buy. Yes, you have voice, but what we're seeing in customer service in our call centers is actually consumers buying via chat, and our clients and our customers are actually, if you don't have chat, the conversion rates are much lower. And the conversions are actually up to even 17% from when you start talking to a consumer when they're on your site. Here's Thailand Fulfillment Center. So it's a multi-brand fulfillment center, customer service. Same thing with Thailand as well in our Thailand warehouse. This one is in our Indonesia fulfillment center. This is the multi-brand. Just so I want to give you an example of, kind of one of our clients, like a company called SalesStock. These guys are killing it. They started about a year and a half ago. Can't really disclose how many orders, but in the high thousands. They were growing so fast that we could not find a fulfillment center or warehouse big enough to accommodate them. They just kept outgrowing kind of the warehouses. So as you know, in Indonesia, very difficult to build a warehouse or to find a warehouse. So we found a carpet manufacturing warehouse. And as you can see from left to right, as we started to basically build this from the ground up for them, and we started about beginning of January or February, and just recently finished. But as you can see, we had to lift the ceilings, get the floor, make it flood-proof, basically allow the power and the internet lines, and literally building it from the ground up. This is where it is today, with conveyor belts and etc. and 4 mezzanine levels. So the time frame was fairly short, but for us, what we do is we tend to work with clients and look at what their needs are. And whether it's custom built or fulfilled from their own existing fulfillment center, we basically tailor everything to them, including our technology as well. This one's Matahari Mall. This was about a couple years ago. So when Matahari Mall launched, part of Lippo Group, this is the fulfillment center. Actually, today it's 3 levels up, but it doesn't look as good in the pictures. So this is just the fulfillment process in the warehouse. So everything you see here for us is the millions and millions of SKUs that are in their warehouse and how to basically help them start to drive and sell online. And that's really kind of, again, going back to our original model of, how do we connect all the product data with the customer data. This Dkh Partnership, so Dkh is a distributor across the region. It's a fairly big player. We've actually been working with them already in Thailand, hence the natural investment that they made. But this is B2B, and for us, we worked with them to actually integrate within their fulfillment center. And this is kind of how it looks like when you look at it from a diagram perspective of, okay, yes, in B2B, you're doing containers to basically forklifts and pallets. When B2C, it's more of breaking bulk, pick and pack, individual items, barcoding each item, bundling. So there's a lot of different merchandising and retailing strategies that are involved. But Dkh has hundreds of brands from consumer to fashion. So this was very strategic for us. And we're actually launching that model as well in other markets. So this one was an interesting one. I actually walked around the mall and saw an Iger store in the mall nearby. But these guys have about 100+ stores in Indonesia. What I really liked about them was they were a local brand. They were actually doing OEM backpacks, right? But this is their factory, right? And what was really great was to be able to work with a company like this and take it from manufacturing, right, to end consumer in Indonesia, and then outside of that will be Southeast Asia and global. So a lot of the things we are doing now is mostly inbound, but we see the opportunities to really kind of help a lot of local companies in Southeast Asia also go outbound, sell on all the marketplaces, brand sites globally, and handle the logistics or marketing all the way down to the last mile for these players. So MAP is another example. So when you see kind of these are all the brands in Indonesia, the second largest retailer. And they have a multi-brand site, they have mono-brand sites. But what's really interesting about this is they wanted to fulfill from store. As you know, fashion, majority of the merchandise is actually sitting inside the physical stores. So more so than the warehouse. And so we're fulfilling, whether it's a mono-brand store like Lacoste, or it's basically like a kids site, a multi-brand store. And you can see our guys actually going in there and picking it up. But what's important is that our OMS, our order management system, is actually linked up or synced up with their POS system. So, we're not going in there blindly, looking for the products. We know that the merchandise sits on there. It's not 100% real time, but it's close enough. And a lot of clients actually, they want to kind of start a little slow first before they go full on into e-commerce. And we kind of provide that solution, kind of a baby steps towards full-fledged e-commerce. Sorry. I think that's basically it. Yes. Thank you very much.